We have various people that ask questions. I'll be sharing.
I'm trying to listen.
Please. Thank you very much. We're local residents. We want to ask you questions on what ladies and gentlemen, the people proposing this wind farm, etc., are willing to answer questions from us, from the group as a whole. So, it's supposed to be an information evening. So, we're go first. First of all, could we say, could we ask, your firm is called REA?
Right.
That is correct. And have you any association with RBF Wind Energy? Yeah, indeed. And you are Mr.
Gavin Fork.
Gavin Forkin, indeed. RBF, indeed. So, there we are. So you're a director of RBF?
Yes.
Yes. And you are director of this company, REA?
I'm a director of the Belfast-based company, which is a subsidiary of REA.
Subsidiary of REA. So you have association with both of these companies? Okay.
ARC as well?
Yeah, ARC is the
ARC
local.
1, 2 and 3
Yes,
as well.
they are the project company.
How many different companies are you a director on?
4, sorry.
Is there a conflict of interest in that, or is that totally
No,
open?
they're completely different companies. They do different things. One company does small scale wind farms, or wind turbines, single wind turbines, and the other companies, the ARC companies, they do large scale projects. So, no conflict.
Who else here from your company is represented here tonight?
We have Ross Williamson, who helps us with our public relations events, and we have Andrew Bunbury, who's our landscape architect, and we have Johnny Stewart, who also helps us with our events, and my colleague Catherine Timms, who I just can't see at the moment.
Who are the shareholders within your company?
The shareholders are, well, they're multiple investors, based in London mainly.
Any local investors?
Not to date, no. We are open to having local investors.
Would any of the landowners be shareholders?
Not to my knowledge, I'm very sure not.
If there is no local capital in your companies presumably may come to a market sometime. What's in it for the local people?
Well, there's a very substantial investment in terms of jobs in constructing wind farms. There are significant job benefits in terms of operating wind farms and maintaining the infrastructure around them.
Let's speak of the finance. If they're sold, the money doesn't come here.
Unless they're shareholders, that's entirely correct.
And there aren't.
That's
There's no major capital.
It's an extremely risky business, and most people are not comfortable putting
Yes,
their
but
money
if you do
into
make a profit, it does not come here.
It's only because you're getting subsidies, or else you wouldn't be having full stop.
We're not actually receiving subsidies until we get to
Well, you must be the only one.
payment stage.
You mustn't be the only one who's only getting a subsidy.
Any money that's put into this project until it's up and running is entirely private sector risk money.
Could you tell the people here how many wind farms you're proposing in your phase 1, and could you please tell us more about your phase 2 and exactly where the wind farms are in relation to the Lisnaharney Rd and how far they go up?
The wind turbines in this project. We have proposed 14, well, we haven't made the planning applications, but we intend to. We are proposing 14 wind turbines between the Lisnaharney Rd and the Liscable Road.
Excuse me, why are the 16 shown on your map?
I think that's quite an old drawing.
Well, what to do, it's an information day.
Yeah,
I mean, this is
the ones-
another example of, and we go ahead, sorry to interrupt you.
All right.
Well, folks, let me tell you, we have brought the AGA Development Association, and we had the misfortune to believe that there was something in it for community and for our community area. What it ended up doing was splitting our community and trying to tear it apart. And that's all this man came in to do. Left with a mess and never come back. Now, we had a final meeting on it last night, and we are all together, and that the community is all back together again, except for the two people that had the proposals in front of it and that were turned down. And that there's no benefit in the community, there was no local jobs, there was no supplying of any material or anything else, because there was nothing in Broadbeg that was supplied this. And it was just a disaster. And I advise you, please look into everything, because what you're signing up to is not actually where your one turbine could be. It end up in the middle of your neighbours' houses. And it's destroying, just splitting communities, splitting families and everything else.
Where did they take the materials from?
Well, you asked them where they take
we
materials
haven't
from.
built anything, but the intention is still to take the materials and the services as locally as we can.
You well know, Gavin, there is no materials in Broadbeg, and that was told to you the last night. Now, you were to come back and sort out the mess that you left in Broadbeg, and you didn't come back.
I think we're still working on it, Mayor.
No, you sent the maps and letter to Patrick,
Yeah.
trying to make Patrick feel bad about his one turbine or whatever. Not your historic monuments said that never, of 3 letters to you would there be those one turbines passed in Broadbeg. But you insisted and you kept on. But you are not, please listen to me. Don't let them tear a community apart the way you tried to do with ours.
People
And we are not
are still not speaking yet. There's families not speaking to their neighbours. And that's going on through the whole process.
Our information evening was on the 12th of the 12th, 2011.
Where's
We
the,
didn't know
where's
what
the
the
land-
application
Wait
was
a
in.
minute, there's a very important thing there.
right,
Say it
The
again.
application was in for the 4th of November, in the name of the community centre and the support of the community centre. The community centre had drawn up nothing or anything else.
I lived beside it, and I knew nothing about wind turbines, or certainly nothing about planning permission or anything till I went and investigated and looked into it. You have to get on your website and get on your local planning applications and go through them with a fine-tooth comb, because legally they don't tell you that there's a wind turbine going to be put up beside you, and you don't know anything about it till you are very blessed or very lucky to be a part of your community group. You're part of your community group and you find out it's going to be a wind turbine, and it turns you against your neighbour because you think the neighbour has went for this wind turbine. It turns out that it's a proposed site from the wind company. Not only are they going for one wind turbine, they're going for the second one. Then the other neighbour, he's going for one as well. Then there's another neighbour now who's going to be 3 or 4. So then you're against your name, and you're going against your good neighbour, and there's bad feelings against your neighbours.
And then there's the part that when you say, no, you're not allowed to talk.
You can't talk about it.
You can't talk about it. You're supposed to keep quiet. But us as a community group, we didn't keep quiet. We all talked to one another.
Dr. McCann.
Could I ask the director another question? I noticed there are a number of children, quite a number of children here. You presumably are au fait with the medical aspects of the low frequency sound waves. Could you explain to the people here the dangers of the health of these low frequency and infrasound sound waves? And could you explain to them in detail, and with particular reference to the particular effect they have on young children?
As far as I'm aware, and as far as any of our noise consultants are aware, there are no known proven health impacts with low frequency noise at the distances we're proposing our turbines
And
to
what's
be.
your distance?
I think the distances to the Lisnaharney Road are over 1 kilometre from
No.
the turbine.
780 metres to our house.
Thank you very
This is the
much.
first time I've met the man.
Well,
Never even got the
well,
they actually purchased to tell us.
well, I'm sorry, sir, you're grossly misinformed.
I think it's more like 900 metres.
780 metres, that's what one of your staff, so I'm on it.
You're aware of the recent international studies on this?
I am becoming aware
Just
of them.
before you go on,
No, you're not aware at the moment.
These ones in Broadbeg was,
281.
yeah, that is down 281 metres
And you weren't even informed?
No.
and 300 and what,
390.
Oh my
right?
God.
And I know another,
It's past this 3 years. I knew nothing about it because I didn't read my papers. I should do. I didn't check my planning website. Well, now I wonderful who has time to be going through all of that, but now we will have time to be going through all of that.
The environmental health officers, they tell us, they look at every application that we make, And the guidance for turbines on all scales.
Completely out of date.
1990.
1997.
We can only work with the information that the EHOs and the planners give to us.
So you're prepared to put us at risk?
No, hold on, please. So you're not aware of any health risks?
Proven health risks, no.
I have this
Have you read the
gentleman's-
literature?
If it's peer reviewed, I'll take it and I'll.
I have
No,
this
I'm
gentleman
asking,
a copy
have
of
you
a
done it?
report that was
I
published in the
haven't-
British
I haven't.
Medical Journal
Yes, exactly.
by a professor in Belfast.
And there's plenty more. And
And
you've no
there's a lot
knowledge
more
of
of it as well.
You've no knowledge.
And the whole wind industry as a whole is completely ignoring health. The government is ignoring it. I have wrote to the health committee at Stormont and haven't even replied. I have tried to engage with every one of our public representatives from our MP, our MLAs and all of the councillors. And one of our MLAs in the paper in the Ulster Herald a couple of weeks ago said that health issues associated with turbines is greatly exaggerated. There's it there in black and white. We also went to Queen's a couple of weeks ago to a talk by a Dr. Chris Hanning. There's 21 letters after his name. He's again had papers published in the British Medical Journal. And about sleep deprivation and everything else. But this man here wrote this paper here. He says, this, ladies and gentlemen, it's the noise that you don't hear that causes the most harm. Your house works like a receiver. The noise is trapped. It's safer for you lying in your bed at night with your curtains open and your windows open because of the low frequency sound waves. In Scotland, up in Aberdeenshire, there's a serious amount of turbines in Scotland and Aberdeen. And there's a serious increase in the numbers of people who have developed severe mental health problems as a result of living and working near wind farms. So much so that this has been raised in the House of Commons by the MP for the area, Mr. Ian Lavery, because the GPs are seeing it coming into them and they have now lobbied their MP to raise it at the House of Commons. And what do you say to that? What about the children these are going to be living beside these things and the impact it's going to be?
I don't know the research that you're
I didn't know
presenting.
it. I didn't know it until 3 of these were going to be proposed within 900 metres from my house. When I got up on my backside and I done something about it myself, I went and I spoke to people living beside these things. There's a woman not too far away from here, 0.3 of a mile from the one farm beside her house. They're now proposing to double the size and double the number of those. And that woman's trapped in that family is trapped in that house because the first they knew about it was whenever the dozers were moved in. The way these guys are operating, they don't tell you. The first thing you know about it is whenever the dozers were moved in because they're working with the planning and all the rest to achieve these objectives. Because
I'm not sure
the
that's
whole thing
entirely
is all
fair.
orchestrated by states.
We're here to tell people about our proposal. We haven't even
I
made
was
it.
going to say, make no mistake, this is part of the process. They want us to come out tonight to raise questions to them. So before you leave, make sure you put a comment to say that you're opposed to turbines and their paperwork up there. Yeah, and I hope you take into account now the fact that's turning tonight. The people in this room are not happy about this up here.
I can see that.
Yes.
Sorry,
So
to
what
say
happens from here then? You just ignore it and go ahead?
No, we certainly don't.
What do you want me to do about it, Gavin?
Well, I'm going to stand here and keep listening to what you have to say, and if there's something that we need to do about.
It's just withdraw, full stop.
Way.
Yeah, to be honest, you're not coming up with any answers that these people are putting questions to you.
I'm not being asked
You're
that any
saying,
questions.
oh,
I think that was.
Gavin, can I ask you a question?
We're not asking questions, we're actually stating facts.
Yeah.
There are serious health issues completely being ignored by our MLAs and our environmental minister.
Gavin, can I ask you, where do you come from, by the way?
Sligo.
Sligo. Tell me, is there any turbines on Ben Bulban?
No, there are no turbines in
Is there not? Why?
I don't know. I don't think anybody's tried to put turbines on Dunbow.
Why? They wouldn't have a hope in hell of getting permission to put a turbine on Ben Bulban. Not a chance. And you should know that, to be honest about it. You know they wouldn't.
There are turbines, lots of turbines in the Ox Mountains.
I didn't ask the Ox Mountains, I said Ben Bulban. Wouldn't it be an ideal spot, you'd have thought?
You're probably right.
Is there any on Cave Hill or Black Mountain or Mourns? Top of the Mourns?
There are 6 turbines being built on Carnhill, just outside Belfast at the moment.
Is there any in the Mourns?
Not that I know of.
I would say
yet.
not.
I would
Yeah.
imagine. I think I know of at least 2 companies that are looking at sites in the morning.
Is there one on your front yard, Gavin?
No, there isn't.
And it says here, Gavin,
You
that
said
you
it
have
wouldn't- if you said
a
just that
large
even
number
beside my house,
of,
it wouldn't bother you.
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't bother you, but it bothers us.
yeah.
And when are you coming back to Brockdale to clean up the mess that you left? And you have to come back to it. As RBF, this is REI. Then the other question I have to point out, RBF they sign up to one area and get everybody to sign up. They sell out to another company. What way does that, well, that was been happening with other companies. This is why there are so many companies, because one gathers up a portfolio as such and then sells on to another company. Where does that leave the poor farmers that has signed up and thinking, oh, they're left right for life?
Well, if somebody develops a business and somebody else wants to buy it, that's normal business practice. It happens all the
It's just
time.
business, really, isn't it?
But yeah,
It's just
but yeah,
business.
Well, everybody needs to earn a living.
Yes.
Well,
we-
the
we
money
need
at
to
the
know-
cost of our
You're
neighbour.
devaluing people's houses here, people's
I'm not,
properties. Your company is, yeah, your
but
company's
we're not going
You're
out to
going to do it,
devalue
but
people's
it's going to
property.
happen.
Yeah.
That's happening.
It's a natural progression.
Can you prove that if we need to sell our house and we can't sleep in 2 years' time, that we will get the proper value for it?
I can't
We
guarantee.
can't.
No.
But Gavin, if we got
There are lots
this,
of other things driving property price reductions.
come on, you're gonna want to go and live beside 20 windmills on from
Yeah,
your
the
house?
property bubble, you said, Boston, this is a bubble as well, it's going to burst as well. You know, this,
Yeah,
this,
people's ways know.
one turbine.
Remember, the subsidies are done, they're gone.
When the kids are grown up and they're trying to turn on the light switch and we have no power.
Well, because there's
What are we gonna
turbines.
do?
Because there's turbines.
One farm is like a piece.
Not even fun to watch the
At
TV.
least they'll have great help to be fit to
They
switch on
they
the
need to be
power.
balanced. They need to be balanced by other plans.
Said the UK government.
But they're driving down the cost of electricity and they will yes, definitely they are.
I said, point 6p of the new electricity
Yeah.
to subsidise your one farm
No,
operation.
no, to subsidise the gas and oil importers. They're the ones driving the energy price.
Did the UK government not give the green light yesterday for the
Gas and
next
oil
nuclear power
subsidies.
station?
Yeah, and they need a half a dozen more as well. Well, what are you going to do when that shuts
What are you going
down?
to do after the nuclear power
Can you
station?
not build the,
That's the balancing for renewables. That's how it works. The clean-up costs for a nuclear power plant are of the order of £1 billion a year. After it's finished generating, we're paying for them.
We're not paying for wind turbines at all.
Of course we're paying for wind turbines. You don't get electricity for free.
We pay for electricity.
Everyone pays for
No,
electricity.
we pay for electricity.
If somebody makes something and makes electricity, you need to pay for it.
And that, Polly, can I come on, and that, you know that if there was one, within 500 metres of you, and you went for planning permission for a house, you wouldn't get it. Your family won't get planning permission for a house, and if they did, lucky enough to get planning permission, they certainly won't get a mortgage. That is, they certainly won't get a mortgage, because what we, I've already checked that out.
I know,
Because I have been unfortunate
you
enough
know that?
to live beside the substation from 1979. My parents were still alive at that time, and they had no choice. They had no choice in the matter. It was going to be taken by Investment Order, by NIE at that time, and the substation was put there. But it was planted close to the house that it wouldn't be seen from the road, and that it would be planted round with a hedge. Plan would not let it go through out where they had picked a spot. But that same spot was a place where a turbine was going to go, and that's so.
When's the plan going on, Gavin?
We'd expect it in the next 6 weeks or something like that.
That's the first time you've actually thought to approach us as residents on the road then?
Well, it's not exactly true. It's the first time we've had an event like this. That's
You
about
said
the
you
first
sent
last
a
time.
walkway letter to the post, but sure.
We spent several days here actually. We came across.
Many people here never seen these before. right?
Well, I think some people have seen this here before, but admittedly
You
not
came in the
everybody.
middle of the summer holidays, and the only reason I know that I was off, I would imagine I was in the middle of the day in the summertime when most people here have to go out to work.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough, I'm off with the summer, they asked me who lived in all the houses near me because they hadn't got an answer to any other door,
Yeah.
except my door.
And I think because.
So why did you come in the middle of the day, you know, to people who obviously have to go out and work to pay for their houses?
We actually find quite a lot of people are either home
Well,
in the early
The
afternoon.
representative asked me, can I give him the names of everyone who lived around my area because he didn't know who lived in the houses.
And that's a part of a phased community engagement.
But I wondered, did they go back to those houses? Like, you know, Sean, did he go back to
No,
you?
no, we did not.
Use? Like, they're all out at work all week. I was lucky enough to be at home.
Well, we did go back to several people who contacted us
So
on
they
foot
didn't
of
go
the
back to those
letter.
ones, so.
Did you contact
I
us
didn't
on
get a
foot of the
letter
letter? Right.
Paddy, can I just, have you any idea what the view of Ormond District Council is?
I'm coming to that.
Aye.
Have you at any stage spoken to us? I'm a Ormond District Councillor.
Yes, we have. I don't have the dates offhand, but
And you spoke with Lisnaharney.
yes, we did.
What date was it?
Do you recall?
We've spoken to the council twice now through the chief executive and through the
To
representatives
the
of
chief
the
executive?
to the chief executive and to the representatives of the to the chief executive and to the representatives of this ward in Minturn.
Oh, so it's only this ward, so because I'm an Ormond Town councillor, it's, you know, you don't speak to me. not what you're saying. It's only the people of this ward that you have been speaking to. So I, as an objector, and I know my town councillor, have I no say in the matter? Well, I mean, if you only want to speak, there's 21 councillors in Oman. There's 7 councillors in Oman town. There's 7 councillors in West Tyrone. There's 7 councillors in Mid Tyrone, where we are. So it's only interest to Mid Tyrone councillors. I have been objecting to wind farms from the first time ever they were heard of. And I mean, I'm entitled to, as I know my town councillor.
As a member of the public, indeed, as well. All members of the public are entitled to object to development.
Well, I'm entitled to.
Can I tell you just how much it will cost to build that wind farm? Is about £55 million.
We don't care. We don't care how much it costs. Hey,
as a public representative.
because it's not happening. Hey,
I don't care.
it'll cost you nothing. It's not happening.
It costs £5,000. I'm not
Go
interested.
back to Belfast and save your money.
I'm not interested in what it costs. But what I'm saying to you is this here now. If you want to speak to 21 councillors in Oma, not 7 in Mid Tyrone, maybe some people might have a personal interest in it in Mid Tyrone, I don't know. But go to 21 councillors, meet Oma District Council, 21 councillors, tell us what you're doing. And if you go to the planning application yet you have, the planners have got to come back to us with it. And I can tell you here now, they'll not get an easy passage from me in it.
Hey, Ma'am, all right. All you're doing is dividing a local community who just live together, all religions, all classes, young and old. All you're doing is dividing a community, get on well, no conflict. All my life, I lived here all my life, and there's never anybody doesn't get on together. Now you guys are coming in, wrecking the community, us maybe potentially falling out with neighbours who are very good neighbours. And guys, we don't want yous. Go back, look elsewhere. We don't want yous here. Full stop.
Can I say a couple of things? But 20 years ago, I had a plan application, and it was turned down for a small extension, and yet now there was windmills visible all around the place. I've no gripe with this gentleman. I came as an interest, move up the way. But he has a right to make his application. Anybody has a right to make an application on ground that you don't own. So there's nothing to stop him. And I think the focus needs to change from the company to our public representatives.
Yes,
the
planners.
Who have decreed this man's come as a...
To make money.
Well, he's come to make money. But he's came to, well, say what he's going to do.
And damage possibly your health.
I don't, not maybe so, but Parliament has decreed that he's allowed to do that. So I think the direction, rather than give this man a hard time, it's our public representatives and the MLAs that...
Well, why are they not here?
Because
we have tried to engage with them, they have completely ignored us, quite a number of them.
Well, there's no
we had a
difference to what
symposium
they've
in Oma a month ago.
They've
There was
stopped
only a
planning
few
on
that
the
turned up.
companies. Yeah, they've stopped planning for farmers and stuff. They never develop their own ground. The planners have decided where they're going to put, like this lady, their own families can't build in their own farms.
These
So
landowners
that's
with these wind farms are going to be the same. I can know one instance where one man, he has a wind farm up and his only son can't get built on his own land because these boys have the right over it. And it's going to be too close to the existing wind farm. That's what people are maybe unaware of. These boys are walking into this with their eyes wide shut. And they're sold a life story.
Planning permission for a house refused on the basis that it was too close to an existing wind farm.
So, no, but this man's right. It's to do with planning. It doesn't fair and Gavin. He's only here to make money out of it. Like,
like everybody has a job.
It's a business to you. That's it. You go here.
Everybody who has a job.
That's fair enough. But as long as you know everyone here is opposed to that.
That's all right.
You're not going to come here and say something on the side.
But it's the method that they're doing it in as well. They're not telling people.
I'm telling you now, we're objecting.
And that's the way it makes you feel. It makes you turn against your neighbours.
You're not surprised?
Well, no, from what Jason said, I'm not surprised.
You have a corporate social responsibility for your
business. Where is your responsibility?
morals there.
There's no law that's making money, it's really
I know, my responsibility as an individual is to develop projects that are good for the environment. That's how I genuinely feel.
Gavin, are you confident that in an area of outstanding natural beauty that you will get planning permission?
He knows he will.
You're content with that?
I wouldn't have taken it this far.
He's already got it. You have had consultation with the planners, obviously.
Yes, we have.
And they're happy about it.
I wouldn't say that they're happy.
Well, I mean, if they're not, they must have been very happy about it when you're so very sure that you're going to get through with this application.
Has this been passed in principle?
No, not at all.
Gavin, how much rare elements is in these turbines?
That's a question I might have to get back to you on, because I don't know how much.
Everyone here just look at the rare elements, the destruction of the environment, and look at how good the
2 tons per turbine is
And the
correct.
toxic waste.
Look at the impact
And the
that has on the
lives of those
environment.
people.
Not here, but in China, but because happening in China doesn't make a difference to us up here. Don't look after
People
the
can't
environment,
even
that's
drink the
excellent.
water. They can't even grow their own
REA
maize
has
in China.
extensive experience and a proven track record in the development of wind farms.
And they don't know how many.
It's some statement to make.
And these are environmentally friendly, and you want to see the harm that they're doing in China. Look up rare elements, go on YouTube, and you can see it all for yourself. It's the dirty little secret the environmentalists don't want you to know.
Did anybody see a programme on RTE in the last fortnight
I did.
where the family came back from England to, was it somewhere in Cork, don't get me wrong.
Baltier was one in Roscommon.
Well, they came back out of England after lifetimes of hard work and built themselves a nice house. I think maybe we'll say it was Roscommon. But to see that lady on the television, the cries of that poor woman that she can't sleep in her bed at night, she's ready for a mental institution. She can't, with the noise at night, she cannot sleep in her bed. I thought that was pathetic to look at them.
Well, whenever I started, I went to speak to a man living beside one of these turbines before Christmas to see what impact of what his lives, people's lives are like living beside these things. And one man I never met before, and he stood outside his back door and the tears run down his face when he told me that his 16-year-old daughter last year in May and June, whenever she was sitting in exams, she couldn't sleep in her own bed because of the noise of the turbines. That was depriving that child of a basic human right of being able to sleep in her own bed. But these men here don't care about that. How do you tell that man? How do you tell that wee girl? How do you tell these children here in the future, whenever they're sitting to do an exam that could possibly change their lives and careers, and then they're not able to sleep in their own bed at night because of the size of these things?
How close was the turbine to that man's house?
He was over a mile.
A mile.
Now, I have another woman I can take you to, and the conditions that they're living in, the house they can't move because they can't sell their house, and the farm, one farm is 0.3 of a mile, and that woman's had serious health issues, and I mean serious health issues. She's had a number of operations, and her mother is now over from England to live with them because she's not well enough to look after her own farm or her own children. Because the one farm is 0.3 of a mile from her
The
house.
McGlinchey case as well in Killeader, that will be taken to court in a few months as well. People living in close proximity to a wind farm and the detrimental effect that it's had on the health of the lady living in the house. So, these issues will be taken to court and are coming up soon. Incidentally, is the landowner of this proposed development present?
He's away.
There are a number of landowners. I wonder if Gavin could enlighten us exactly as to who the landowners are for this project.
Yeah.
Right, that's one. Anybody else? O'Hagan's is another.
O'Higgins, Baxter, and Vintage. And Adams.
So there's 5. And for phase 2, who are the landowners there?
We haven't identified the location of phase 2.
Don't be a phase 2, Sean. Phase 1 won't be happening.
Well, we haven't actually agreed anything with anybody else. It's in early stage.
And what about CARES?
Yes, early stage.
So that's phase 2.
Potentially. We don't have anything agreed for any of that.
See what residents are fearing is there's a phase 1 and then they just seem to multiply, and then there's a phase 2, and and even some of your work colleagues here didn't know anything about a phase 2. So
You're forgetting that we're looking at these things already. We're looking right across them. And like everyone else in here, we all believe this spin, if you want to put a pun on it. about the green, how good it was and all the rest, but it's not nonsense. It is nonsense. You start looking into the facts.
It's all propaganda.
Propaganda, right, and we're not happy about it. We don't want it to
Climate change is propaganda.
No, the fact that.
Climate change is
But you're part of it.
again, not
There's no
necessarily
mention.
man's activities.
There's no
More
mention.
CO2 than the rest of the state.
No, that's, actually the carbon payback on that site would be on the order
What
of
about
18
the
months.
concrete and steel using the foundations?
Yeah,
There's
When-
1,000 ton of
when-
concrete for 50 ton of steel.
all of that
One turbine.
payback is still in the order of 18 months.
So there's facts
It's
in
not.
there, there's facts.
We're using the Scottish Natural Heritage
What about the
calculation.
effect on local tourism and local businesses?
Local businesses,
Yeah,
if somebody spends £30 million here in construction, you think that won't have a positive effect on local
Is
businesses?
anybody going to get
No,
it?
because the guys come out in
The farmers
Denmark
who
to
else
do
is going to get out of this?
No one.
Locally, here,
No,
nobody,
no.
nobody.
That site would pay rates of a couple of £100,000 a
We are not
year.
going to get, people that's going to be affected, and people can't live in their own homes, aren't going to be getting anything out of this.
There's a community fund as well.
What are we going to get, a swimming pool?
That's a bribe for getting
That's not, I heard
Wait to get lights in the picture
I
instead.
heard them giving out that before they give the swimming pools and like,
Right.
woohoo, get a
It's up to you for whatever you want to
No,
use
you
it
keep your
for.
swimming
The community benefit is a bribe for getting the planning through. That's what it is.
Fund of opposition to wind farms and all nonsense about nature like fracking.
Gavin, what's your level of investment so far in this project?
£500,000.
And there's also comments.
So, like, that's not a speculative bid, like that's,
No, it's
you
not.
must have a fairly high degree of confidence that you can.
We have a reasonable degree of confidence. It's a windy location and it's got good access and it's yeah we're reasonably confident that we could get some.
So, Paddy, I think that, you know, this man here, so the issue really here is for local people to engage with the public representatives. You're a legitimate businessman making a prospective investment proposal, and we're people who live along this road. But this area is not our area. This is an area of West Tyrone that's shared by many people. It's been promoted by council and other tourist facilities as a tourist amenity. I'm not quite sure how that sits with that. You know, it seems to be a variance.
Well, the Stern Tourism is involved in this also.
Yeah, so I think that really we have to engage with public representatives.
Well, I mean,
and
the
planning.
point is this, I'm here at Lone Wolf.
Exactly, I can see
But remember, there's an MP, there's 6 MLAs, and
Absolutely,
there's
yeah.
21 councillors.
There's none of them here.
In this area, there's none of them here. Well, I make no apologies, I'm a Noma Town
No, I know
councillor,
that, yeah.
but I'm against it completely, so that's why I'm here.
Excuse me, where are the local MLAs and the local, was the local MP invited to this meeting tonight? Pardon? The local MP is?
Pat Doherty.
Pat Doherty, yes.
Was the 6 MLAs invited?
I can confirm that the 6 MLAs were invited.
With 21 councillors?
Did you receive
Or
any
7? 21
response?
councillors or 7?
Sorry, just hold on, just on that
Did
point.
you receive a response from any of them?
Well,
Just hold on, just hold on. Sorry, hold on.
in Brugdeg, I had got a phone call from Pat Doherty, but it was via Declan McAleer. And that to say that he had got a letter from Mr. Fogland, wrote by himself, but asking for his support and for him to sign it, saying about how good this was for the community and everything else. Now, Declan McAleer come down and met with the group and said, had this ever taken place? Had we meetings? Had we signed up to anything this? Had we come to an agreement with them? And we were completely shocked. We didn't know anything about it, and I have a copy of that letter.
Scandal. Well, Mary, I can say that when I met Mr. Falkland, he told me that 80%, when they had gone round the houses last summer, that what they'd been telling the planners was that 80% of the residents were for it and 20% against. And I tried to tell him that that was not true, and I don't think he's believed me until tonight.
I'd like to meet the landowner. If the landowners from here will come up to Brockdale and have a wee chat with us, and we'll not be interrogating you or anything. We'll get your neighbours together and come up and have a chat with us and get more information from us.
That's not happening
The
because
one-
them boys are guide.
Oh, that's right,
They're
sorry,
six.
so we
Sorry.
are, sorry, I think, yes, but
We don't
the
get
one that,
they're sold, they're sold.
well, the one that is passed beside me, there's a wind turbine passed beside me, and it is the wording that it is for the community centre, for the benefit and for the good of the community centre.
Right.
And it hasn't, the owner of the land, with a neighbour, lives in Glenhull. He doesn't even live in Brockdale. It's 400, what is it, 390 away from my home, and it's passed under the guise of the community centre and the benefit of the community centre. And I had no aware of it going up beside me. Passed. It's not for any good of any community centre, let me assure you, because I'm the community. And I live beside the centre as well as all my neighbours. And putting it under the guise of a community centre application, and that's why
I
it's
think, Amish, we came out, we met you a couple of times since that happened. And we apologised profusely, several times, for the misunderstanding. We didn't do it in order to wind anybody up. It was a genuine mistake.
What have you done since? You set the plans, you set forward the plans to Patrick and asked him to approach the community with it.
I genuinely thought that was what you wanted us to do.
No.
I genuinely did.
Single out our vice chairman, to try to let us think that our vice chairman was in cahoots with you behind your back, but we know that.
I've got the wrong end of that stick. I wrote it down.
You seem to be getting the wrong end of the stick everywhere.
Yeah, but if you were totally wrong with the first one, why don't you withdraw it again? Which land don't do nothing with it. If you were totally wrong with the first one. The first one that's passed?
The first one that's passed. I can't withdraw it from planning, but what you're saying is just not develop it.
No, not develop it.
Governor, when you put in a planning application, how many residents will get neighbourhood notification?
We have not received anything.
Derek Bolton, that will get.
Yes.
Well, don't worry yourself, I received nothing else.
When you make a planning application, you're required to notify people who have a land boundary with your site area. So that's how we work out who we need to.
And they will get notified.
They will get
Doesn't
notified.
happen. I attended an event up in Lisnaharney College there about 3 weeks ago. And it was being conducted by 3 government bodies, the DOE, the Department of Enterprise, Trade and Industry, and DARD. On the invitation, now I wasn't invited, but whenever I found out about it and phoned about it, and invited myself, and I got in touch with a few other people who I know were concerned residents from other areas. So there was about 10 or 11 of us there altogether from various parts of the country. There was about 35 to 40 people there in total. Now this has been conducted by the 3 government bodies, and who was doing the research for them? Only a guy called Michael Dorn from Active Renewables, who is in the wind industry in Belfast. So he was employed for 3 months to do this job. He was getting 18 grand for his bar. He was to research, analyse and do recommendations. And the whole topic was about community engagement. Whenever we arrived there, it was between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. A serious inconvenience to a lot of people with their ordinary working day life who couldn't attend. And when I asked them, why is nobody from the Department of Health here? Because there's serious health issues. It was met with silence. When I asked them about the health aspects of it, they couldn't give me any answers. Anything we had, they'll make note on it. Now, he said there was 160 community groups were invited to it. Now, if you had invited 160 community groups, you would need bigger premises, because a lot of them probably weren't even invited in the first place. You think any community group was getting any benefit? You rest assured in this day and age they would have somebody there if they were getting a sniff of any few pounds was going. So whenever we arrived there was nothing about community engagement. The whole thing was the community benefit. And they asked various questions. So our group anyway, we answered the question anyway. How can there be any benefit whenever the community is not being engaged with from the day one? The first thing people know about these wind turbines is whenever the turbines the constructors are moving in, they're not even made aware of the planning. These guys are sending stuff out to derelict building. You don't know about it. It's all used to their advantage, and this has all been driven by state. And then you have this exercise that these boys are doing it, and 3 government bodies. It's maybe a case that after the horse is bolted that this is an afterthought that they conducted this thing. So I've been looking forward to seeing the minutes. I've got a copy of the minutes, and some of the issues that was raised by other people in the group weren't even on that, relating to health and all the rest. I've never asked them why the Department of Health wasn't there. They couldn't answer me. There's one guy there from another group, he was from either DARD or DOE, and he actually said that there was great examples of communities, and he named the likes of the credit union, he named the likes of the GAA. Now, 2 perfect examples of communities working together. And I said to him, listen, that's brilliant because you have everybody there all working in one direction. But what you're doing with us here is causing serious division. It's causing serious division among families. It's causing serious division among small, rural, tight-knit communities. He couldn't answer me because he knows I'm speaking the truth. And I met with silence again. Surprise, surprise.
Okay, Dr. McCallan.
Sir, going back to my original point about the health risks. I am very surprised, sir, the man in your position, the director of all these companies, major capital investments and everything else, seems to know absolutely nothing about the health implications. Now, you've been here tonight and you've heard the people talk, and a large amount of their worry is due to the worries about their health and, even more important, their young people's health. Now, Mr. Simpson, my friend in this group, provided me with a burgeoning world literature on the recent developments of the ill health effects of your wind farms. Maybe it would be a suggestion that, in case there's another information in brackets evening, that a man in your position might appraise himself of the relevant recent scientific investigation.
Advice well given, and I will take it. Thank you.
Thank you
And
very
also,
much.
you know, the misinformation that you're giving on this leaflet, for example, you know, REA has extensive experience and a proven track record in the development of wind farms. We've just heard there's no experience with regard to health. So,
One other question. You said about peer-reviewed reports. Can you present us with a peer-reviewed report that will prove to us that these things are safe for health?
I could probably do that.
Where's all your assessments?
Excuse me?
Where are all your assessments?
They're currently being generated. Some of them have been done.
Generated where? I mean, you come here, you should be out and proud and throwing them about.
What's
You
the
know what I
question?
mean?
What's the question?
Your assessments.
Of what?
Of impact.
We're building.
Oh, you're working on it. Yeah,
the
yeah.
environmental impact.
Spot on.
sorry, well, can I ask you just one thing? Can we see your fieldwork notebooks? Can we see your animal tax? Can we see? Exactly.
Yes.
Have you got them?
You will see all of them
Yes.
in the
Prior to your application.
You see all of them in the application.
Well, this was supposed to be an information evening. I thought that these would be.
Have you a
Disinformation evening.
Have you a specific question?
Disinformation evening.
I have a specific question. I would like to examine the records. I would like to see the qualifications of the people who are collecting this information.
Yes.
Are they available to us tonight?
Not immediately, but
Not
I can get them
immediately.
for you.
That's okay. Let's have a look at them. Before we
And
make
when
the
will-
I make
application.
them available in the planning application. That's
You
how
make
it
them
works.
available in the planning application. Very good.
But that's how the system
But we're
works.
not naive anymore. Come on, you've got to do better than that. Jesus Christ.
If you want to engage with your community.
Don't shut up and just serve that up.
There's
It's
not
not
much point
good
in
enough.
talking
It's not a
for it.
specific
No.
question. Ask me about birds or
So I
bats.
say again, they're here to tick boxes, that's the only reason why we're.
That's
here.
exactly.
Yeah, well, you sucked yourself in the back, go home.
I'm sorry, yourself is thinking about maybe getting involved. There's a section on the website for farmers, just to go into just educate yourself about this.
Well, I think too, like, this isn't the first one turbine farm that's went up. There's a lot of them up, and I don't know what's the reaction is from other communities.
Oh, good.
Visit some of the other.
Go to Cleater, Tony.
Tony.
Talk to the people down in Cleater, Tony. Talk to the people down in Cleater
Can't
and
get along for their own family and stuff.
they can't get out of their house.
They
What's
don't
them
tell
like?
you about the substations. Once there's the one farm up, they don't tell you about the substations. They don't tell you about the interconnector to take the power
That
away.
hasn't been touched here at all.
So that hasn't
On the
been
spill.
set up.
And they don't tell you about your liability as a farmer in the long term.
Is it going to be pylons? How are you going to do that?
That's when we take them in the road.
Decommissioning, what happens?
On the existing network?
Who makes a claim against you for
That's
damage to your
short term.
health in the long
Short
term?
term.
That's coming.
It really is. It's actually, as a matter of fact,
It's only a short term. They put
as
it
a matter of
into
fact,
the-
I got an email today.
And then they come with a big substation, and then they come with an interconnector.
Sorry, folks, it says they're ticking boxes on the way out. Just make sure you sign your name and say you're objecting to it. That's the only thing you can do. Just let them know what you're objecting. We're all objecting to this.
How much will the existing line take?
Which existing line is that?
This existing line for this sub, or for this one farm here?
I don't know.
Just before we all part and leave, because I think we've made our points and our concerns well tonight, but I would just like Paddy, just on behalf of the group, just to sum up about the local residents' feeling about it, and we'll just leave it at that, and then we'll go.
Thank you. Can you relay that back again then, please?
Pardon?
Can you
Oh, I
relay?
certainly will. Well, number one, I can assure you here and now, I have no interest in other than I'm against the wind farm, because I do not get one vote in this area, remember. It's not my constituency whatsoever. So I've nothing to gain here. I'm not here looking for votes. You're not in my area. Not one of you here can vote for me. There's a man at the back can, Mr. Brogan, Oma Town. But there's certainly I have no remit in the country whatsoever. But I'll lay back to you. I would hope that you'll be meeting the full council in Oma, the 21 councillors in Oma, not 7 in Mid-Tyrone who are conspicuous maybe by their absence
They would
here
have
tonight.
us there as well.
I don't know why I don't know why. If they were all invited tonight, I don't know why I'm the only lone board here. I don't know why. But well, I mean, I'm here because I'm always been an objector, and that's why I'm here. But
Paddy, you were here because we asked you.
yeah, I
here.
was invited here. Yeah, I
Yes.
was. But I'd be anywhere even without an invitation. Because I'm against it completely. It's the scourge of the countryside is all they are. So for that very reason, but I will be taking it back, what's happened here tonight, I'll be taking it back to a development committee meeting at Oma Council, and I would hope that when you put in your application, which you're entitled to do so, that the planners will come to us as they will, and they'll give us all the details, and it'll be either approval or refusal. But by what you're saying here tonight, you seem to be very confident it's going to be an approval. Well, they'll get the wrath of me, of course, as they always do, if that matters. But we will take it from there. All I can say is I understand the concerns and the grave concerns of this local community, a community that I know so well. For I have worked in another capacity in this area half of my lifetime. Many here would know that. I've worked half of my working lifetime in this area here, Gortian Glens. So I'm very au fait with the area. I know it completely. So as I said before, I support the local community in every way that I can. So all I can do is thank you all for coming, and thank you for coming as well. So we will await the decision of planners and all the rest of it. Okay?
Thank you,
One question. How is all this written up in terms of reporting of tonight? Is there a lot of issues that were raised? I'm here to find out information.
I'm hoping one of my colleagues is taking notes.
But in terms of just for the record, there were questions Dr. McTallion raised in respect of...
There is a comment book at the front.
But I just want to make sure, for the record, questions were asked, but information was not provided. Okay, can that be recorded?
Sure.
Thanks.
I think they were here earlier.
Thanks very much, folks, for turning out as well.
So it will be there as well.